Well, hi everybody. This week we're in beautiful Trabuco Hills, California, and we're checking out the Holy Gem Trail. It's a couple miles, and it's been really wet lately, so we're going to go see if we can have some fun. And looks like we've gotten actually a little bit of a break from the rain, but chances are it's going to pick up later, so stay tuned. I've spent a lot of time here the past several years, the past years that I found it, which is probably about 6 or so. And it's usually pretty, it's just a graded road. It's not that interesting. There's no real extreme terrain, but when it rains, as you are going to see, you get some pretty fun stuff like that. And yeah, it's one of the more fun things to do is right after you get a really good rain, make sure you come up here or down, you know, wherever you are, just out, I guess, and check out some of the water features, as it were. It gets pretty interesting. I'm gonna go check out these puddles here. I know this place like the back of my hand, and I've done a lot of driving, a lot of off-roading here. So it's nothing out of the ordinary for me, but definitely a really fun little place to go. So here we go. Side trails. I'm still not actually sure if they're legal or not, to be completely honest, but they are there, they're open for now, and I figure I might as well use them, I guess. But yeah, and there's just a lot of fun stuff to do, a lot of water, some rock stuff. I do have some battle scars on my car, definitely as a result of them, and I've also done all of the creek to the right. That's another video that you can check out on the Gear Talkers website on YouTube, or channel, I guess. Go check that out if you're interested in some videos. Holy Gem, and specifically the creek region there. I'm going to piece together a better Holy Gem video from outside the car. That's the next video that's coming up, so subscribe, stay tuned. There's a lot of... I'm going to keep the camera in the car today because it's not waterproof. I kind of wish I got a ruggedized one, but at least it shoots HD. I just got it, and yeah, it seems to work pretty well. Probably can't see it, but there's some really interesting mountains. I guess they're really just hills out there that are in fog right now, very much like I always think of King Kong when I see that, the latest one with Jack Black. If you're curious, my car has well, first of all, I'm running at just straight temperature because I don't know, I don't have a compressor yet. I don't really feel like airing down because, I don't know, it just seems, it's a little bit of a pain, especially because this is just a short trail. I am going to buy a compressor soon enough, I know that, but I'm still just on the fence about it. Or at least what I want in one. There's a million different models out there. Here's they have some really good mud pits off. If you make a left off the main road, several trails get to here, and there's also one at the U where there's kind of a little bit of a hill, and it's definitely worth your time if you're feeling feeling like getting a little muddy. So I think I'm gonna switch into 4-wheel drive just to be a little bit safer. But yeah, there's some really big mud pit areas, I guess, through here. And I'm gonna try a bow wave through this. I guess I didn't need it, it wasn't that deep, but yeah, it's basically just an open field, and it's 100% destroyed by now. There's like an old ruined house that's on it, and there's some pretty fun little bouncy things to bounce over and on and through, but also I'm not sure if it probably still is private property, so I would not, even though I just did it, just keep an eye out if there's police. I have seen a lot more police around here lately, so there's always that threat. I'm gonna switch into neutral here so I can pop it back into 4-wheel drive. It helps to back up a little. I don't have to, I guess, but I know it works every time if I do it that way. So I just do it anyway. But what I was gonna say is about my car. At least I have a 245 75 R16 Toyo Open Country AT2s, the latest and greatest design. Supposedly they have a 50,000 mile warranty on them in that size. It's about a 9.5 wide by 31 tall, which, and it's basically the biggest size that I can run on this because of the struts, suspension in the front, which is what gives me the very car-like ride when I'm on the highway. But at the same time, it is a little bit of a challenge to get the right kind of tires and lifts, and it's a little limiting, I would say. This is some soupy mud right here, but if you're wondering, they pull through extremely well. My buddy, who's in the other videos, in the '93 white Ford Bronco, has BFG ATs, and in my experience, or at least watching his and being in the car with his and everything, I've gone through snow and a little bit of mud and everything, is that they love to cake up, and that's not exactly the best thing in the world when you're going over mud and you're kind of hoping that you're, oh, maybe right over that. That's what skid plates are for, right there. Unfortunately, I only have about 9 inches of ground clearance on this. That's the other thing, is that Pathfinders are a little bit notorious, at least in the circles that actually do off-road them. They are notorious for having rather low ground clearance, but honestly, it's not that much of an issue. I mean, it's overblown. It's just numbers. It's not necessarily super practical. It's not that big of an issue for me. I've been able to, if you just drive, if you're a good driver, if you're a careful driver, the main thing is just being careful. I think that's honestly all it takes. If you're careful, you're never going to have an issue. It's not that big of an issue, big of a deal. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're looking into Pathfinders, I highly recommend it. But again, I got sidetracked. My car has the KYB GR2s in the front, struts up there. Those are basically the best that you can get. The only upgrade, I guess, would be an old man EMU system, but at, I think it's 190 per strut, versus I think I got mine for 60 per strut on rockauto.com. It's not, I mean, it's not really worth it, and I know they're smooth, but they're not rally car, or not rally car, go fast, smooth, so I just figured I might as well not. Yeah, I prefer to be a little careful with the water crossings. I don't have a snorkel. If I had one, I would give it a shot, just because I don't want to drown my car. I don't want to blow an engine. It's expensive. And I don't really feel like being out here in the rain waiting for nobody to come. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to be careful out there, guys. Please. And as another thing of being careful, just don't destroy the trails, because there's a lot of groups out there that are going to trying to shut off road trails down in general, and there is a good reason for that. It does really damage the environment. It makes a huge difference. I mean, you can see it when people are stupid. It's something that's just obvious. So please just stay on the trail, stay on the marked trails, unless it's an SVRA area, or the equivalent you have in your state. California has areas where it's open to drive. Ocotillo Wells, where one of our videos was shot, is a prime example of that. It was a bombing range during the late 30s. They trained for the Africa campaign in World War II there. And as a result, obviously the environment was destroyed already, so you can literally drive anywhere. So that's all fine and dandy. You know, you're not going to destroy anything by going through that. But if you are in, say, Anza-Borrego State Park, at least there are enough bushes and things that it keeps you on the trail, because you can't really drive over a big old, Ocotillo bush or anything like that. But just stay on the trails, please. Keep them open for the rest of us and yourself, because really, like I said, it's no fun if they close. It might be fun to go destroy whatever that tree is, or destroy some animal's home, their environment, but just don't do it, because you may not be able to go back there ever again if they close. Now we are entering the Cleveland National Forest portion, or at least getting closer to it. They do require that you have a parking pass for the day, but the fine is $5, so I guess you don't really need one. But I do have one, because I I go out here enough, and I have done the waterfall hike, and I'm planning on doing the whatever the little bit longer hike is, just because it's something fun to do, and I love hiking, I love the outdoors, and it's something that is really a good way to spend your time. It's a lot better than going to the gym, I think, but whatever. There's definitely a lot more water in the creek. The last time I was here, which was probably 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, I guess, if it's a month. There was no water in the creek, or it was just wet, damp. It wasn't even like a flowing creek or anything. So this is good. This is very good. And again, like I said, the prime time to come here is when it's raining, because or after it just rained, just because it makes everything so much more interesting. And you can get a little bit of mud on your tires, even though it's Southern California, and that's not always an option. It is an option here, and there is that huge mud pit back there that we drove through, and there is a second hole that I wasn't really comfortable with going through, because Andy, who has another Pathfinder, he has a 96 with a AC lift, Safari ATRs, roof rack, gas cans, everything like that. He said that it was past his tires, and we have the same tire size, and I know my intake is below my tires, I believe. So again, I didn't feel like blowing up my motor. So sorry guys, it's not that cool of a video. Guys and gals, actually, of course. This right here is where I jumped. My friend's brother, luckily, was actually the one who was driving. My friend's Jeep YJ. And the leaf spring front suspension is not designed for jumping, and really no Jeep is, except maybe the Jeep Speeds, obviously, but no factory Jeep. Is what I would say has been designed for going fast, and I guess no factory vehicle has ever really been designed for going that fast. Some of the TTB Fords, I suppose, could be, but certainly not, you know, the majority of vehicles out there. I suppose maybe the, definitely, obviously, the Raptor, the Baja, TX, Tacoma, and if you considered a factory package, the Ram Runner. But all of those were after the Raptor, so I'll give credit to the Raptor for being the first go fast vehicle out there, and factory go fast vehicle, I suppose. And anyway, the Jeeps are not great for jumping, as I learned. It ended up, the front axle, which I believe is a Dana 30, and it hit the bottom of the engine, it hit the oil pan. That's how hard of a hit it was. It compressed the axle and the whole suspension to the point where it just wasn't pretty. It tweaked. The frame has got to be tweaked. Hit the gas tank, it pulled the transfer case apart. I haven't talked to the guy lately, actually, so I'm not exactly sure. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just realized, heard the snap and the camera fell on the ground, so that's great for a brand new camera. But, anyway, so as I was saying, in my incredibly boring story, you can just turn the audio off. I'm sure you have by now anyway. You don't like to hear me ramble. My buddy's YJ, if you're still listening, we went through we jumped the thing. I was in the passenger seat, and it was enough that it took, I had Ray-Ban sunglasses on. I love those things, and they broke recently, so I have to rebuild them, I guess. It took the Ray-Bans off of my head, and pulled my hat off, my very Expedition Portal Outback hat. Pulled my hat off my head, the impact onto the ground, that is. Obviously the seatbelt locked, and it broke the seat frames of the seats. It broke the frames of the seats. It tweaked all kinds of stuff. It tweaked supposedly the fender. The thing's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but it's pretty bad. And anyway, it tweaked that, blew that up, and basically just destroyed a lot of the Jeep in a lot of little ways. We thought, the Bronco driver and I thought that the Jeep was done, that it was a waste of time to try and get it back, but the guy that has it has some sort of a connection with it, which I guess I can understand, and I don't know how far he's gotten in rebuilding it, but he still drives it every day, and in fact, just as a funny happenstance, at the end of our expedition to Anza-Borrego, we went to Holy Jim because it had been raining like this, but nowhere near the same severity, so there weren't nearly as many puddles or anything. But we went to Holy Jim anyway, and so we went to Holy Jim, and who do we see on the side of the road? The YJ being towed by his brother ZJ, the same brother who jumped it and destroyed much of it. So that was an interesting experience. I thought that was really very quite funny. If you're wondering what the banging is in the back, that might be a combination of my spare tire swinging around or something. I tightened it down as far as it'll go, so hopefully it's not that. But it's my trailer hitch also. I have those shackle hitches that allows me to get towed out because I'm a stock rig, and chances are that I might get stuck at some point. I will get stuck at some point. I haven't gotten stuck yet. I've really tried. But anyway, so I have that there, and I guess it swings around and it bumps and makes all kinds of racket. And that's one of my modifications, was I put on a trailer hitch and I put that shackle thing on. I put a shackle on in the front. I put a 4x4 parts. Great source for Nissan parts, by the way. If you have a Nissan, that is the place to go. Their customer service, admittedly, is a little lacking. They did not tell me when my stuff was coming in, but anyway, I got a full skid plate kit, minus the rear diff one, because I didn't think I'd need it, but I may put one on later. And so I have those skid plates in the front. I have the front one. I have a center one that covers the engine and all the transmission and part of the transfer case. And then this weekend, or at some point, the next time it's dry and everything, I'm going to try putting on the center one again. They have no instructions, and they just have a bracket and a few bolts that are probably mismatched, because that's the way the other order came in. And so I'm going to go see if I can throw that on there, because it does make a big difference. I'm sure it saved my bacon. I have put a big dent in the cross member here at Holy Jim, actually. And I found that out when I was installing the skid plate, so it would have been nice to have some protection, but I guess that kind of thing just kind of happens when you're out and about. So, still driving along here. We're going deeper into the forest. It's very lush for the area. It's very much like where I was born and lived for a little while. Grass Valley, California, up north, about an hour north of Sacramento. Beautiful area, absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping on going there this summer and hopefully this spring as well. It's just an absolutely gorgeous place. I don't know what the holdup here is, but I guess they gotta have these Xteras pass. And then combine that with these two trucks that are crawling along. It's a really great combo. Just having the time of my life here. Another thing that's rattling is I have Smitty built elements in the car, and the zippers on their case make some noise, as zippers usually do. So that's that little ching noise, I guess. That's a little bit irritating, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. Here's the fire station right here. There have been no residents up till this point. There are no privately owned spots yet, but I do know that there are some up ahead, and we're going to go check those out as soon as we get back on the road again. I'm just going to stop here for a moment, and we can check out what the what's going on, and take the old bathroom break, I guess. So we will be back after these short messages. So we are going to do some exploring off to the side here. I've walked through here before, and a car just came out, so I know it should be okay. But this is the way to the Holy Jim trailhead itself. Because Holy Jim Trail is actually a hiking trail. It's not an off-roading trail. This is just a designated. This isn't a designated off-road spot. It's just a, I guess, graded. It's a road. You know, it's just a road. Which is the reason why it's not that interesting. But I haven't driven back here before. I have walked, like I said. So we'll see what we can see, I guess. I know there are some interesting homes on the side. The sides here, you might not be able to see them, but so again, this is the road to Holy Jim Trailhead itself. I'm going to lock the doors because hopefully an angry local does not come out and accost me for just being a good citizen, or I guess exploring as a Eagle Scout should. But anyway, so we're on the road to the Holy Jim Trail. Excellent. It's an excellent day hike. It just goes to a waterfall. I don't know exactly how long it is. It's only a couple miles. Super easy. And I mean, there's nothing that hard about it by any means. There's just some random hopping around, you know, that you have to do in like one part. So maybe we'll do a video on that later, at some point in the Gear Talkers broadcast. So this road I'm sure I could go quick on, but it's narrow and there are a lot of houses here, so I'm only going to do 15 or so. I don't want to run anybody over. These windshield wipers, if you are curious, are the Rain-X Latitude X, I think, something like that. Whatever the silicone monobeam one is. I've been pretty happy with them. They still do this weird skipping thing that my old wipers that when I bought the car did, but yeah, they're alright. They're pretty good, I guess. There's a really interesting synchro, if there's any VW guys out there. I love VWs. I have a 62 Carmen Ghia myself, which I love, but I love off-road VWs as well, and that thing is very impressive, very cool. Definitely, I think the coolest car out here, by far, and definitely the coolest one I've seen. I haven't seen any other vehicles in particular that are nearly as cool. It's mostly pros out here. So yeah, that was a little trip to the hiking trail, and we'll pick up on West Horse Thief. So we are now on West Horse Thief Trail. I swung around and made a right at the trailhead there where everything comes to a little Y in the road. So this is what happens when you make a right. What was before this is what happens when you make a left. Both are rather interesting. Honestly, the other one is personally more for my enjoyment in terms of looking at houses and architecture and everything. But this is a little bit more interesting in terms of driving. There are less houses and a little bit more bumps, and there's definitely a lot of, when it rains again, there's a ton of water, and because of that, I do highly recommend that you do this after it rains. There's big puddles. I wouldn't say there's a ton of the other water of, you know, like mud or anything, but which is actually a good thing, because mud is fun, but it gets literally everywhere. And when it's water like that, it gives you free, dirty undercarriage clean. So as long as I can stay out of the mud today, which I guess I didn't, I can probably get away with not having to clean it so deep and using the jet setting on the washer, because that, I know, can tear things up a little bit, and that's kind of frustrating. Again, there are homes here, so please be careful. People live in them, so don't, you know, it's private property. They don't mess with your house, don't mess with theirs. There's a little bit of water for you. Road is basically one lane, so you know, be careful around some of the corners like this one, where you never know when a person might pop out, and people aren't always the friendliest here in general, so just be aware of that. They've been okay, I'd say, overall. Get a lot of, if you go here later in the day, like kind of towards nighttime or at night, which I've done both, you do get some really strange characters, so just watch out for them. People in general, who, if you're looking for a buddy, or, you know, just want to have someone make sure that they're there so you can get pulled out if you get stuck, a lot of people aren't willing to do that, so that's that, I guess. So I mean, as you can see, there's little patches of water. It's not like it's a absolute cake fest. It's not a mud, you know, mud flinging good time, or a water crossing in the Amazon or anything like that. But sometimes you can get some pretty good water back in the old days, I guess. I don't know if they dammed up the creek or if it's just climate change, but the creek used to flow a lot stronger, and the area used to, you know, I mean, where we were through today, where there were puddles today, there used to be big, you know, water crossings that were at least to the hubs. A lot of them were, you know, sometimes to the 3/4 of the way up the tire. So when there's that, you know, you got to be mindful. But that's the way it used to be, and it hasn't been that way for at least, I think, 6 years or so. My friend took his Unimog out there like that, and his pictures from those days, and it it was definitely something that I wish there still was, but you know, it's gone now, so can't do anything about it, unfortunately. Or maybe I mean, obviously we can stop that from happening in other parts of the world. Just try to be more eco-friendly in general, less carbon emissions and everything. So here's the Horse Thief trailhead right here. Here we are back again at the road at Trabuco. I forgot what it's called. Road. I can't believe that I just forgot that. Plano Trabuco. That's it. And we're just gonna park here for a minute. See what's up. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the Gear Talkers channel. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming out here soon. Hopefully, we have one of Anza-Borrego. We have actually several of Anza-Borrego, and now we're shooting in HD. So from now on, sorry guys, you're not gonna have to deal with 240p anymore. Like the first Xterra excursion to Holy Gym, you won't have to deal with that anymore. So anyway, thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel, and have a great day.